Hello everyone, I am the Blue Dwarf and welcome back to episode 6 of Terra Firma Rescue. Now in today's episode we are going to be making some black bronze, and to help us do that we are going to be also making a crucible. Now between episodes I have gathered up the materials to make some mortar, and I slammed the door in my face, which needs some flux, and we are going to put that into some of our water barrels. Now in order to make lime water, which is needed to make mortar, we are going to need 20 flux per 10 buckets of water. Now that will happen instantaneously as soon as we put this in here. There we go. That made straight into lime water. And then you just chuck sand in. Any type of sand should work, I believe, and you seal it. Now that will produce mortar. It says 16 mortar and it should be a lot more than that, I believe. But we need to let that seal for 8 hours, and then we will be able to take out some mortar. We're also just going to make some more lime water for later recipes. Now, in order to make a crucible to help us make some black bronze, we are going to need to be able to make fire clay. Now, fire clay works the same as you just napping it out of using 5 fire clay in your hand. Now, to get fire clay, we need to be able to mix graphite and crayonite powders. Now, in order to get these powders, we need a quorum. Now, to make one of those, we're actually going to make 2 of those because they're quite slow. We're going to make a base, which is just 3 of any type of stone along the bottom, and that gets a quorum base. And then the same again, but with sticks, makes the handstone. Now we're going to place these down just here, and you place inside the handstone, and you in each one, and we will put the graphite and the crayonite in there in a second. But beforehand, we're just going to complete the quest for those, because that is a quest, I believe, refractory minerals. Now these, as it says here, you can read that if you would like to, and we can also get the rewards for that. And that's loot bag, and also the handstones is also one, so we should also pick those back up very quickly and collect the reward for those. Only wants 1 of each, but we have made 2. We don't get a reward for those actually, so that's unfortunate. And that is as far as this quest line goes. We need to make mortar before it will open up, but we will place these down for the moment and get grinding. Now, what you do with these is you have to right click on that little handle, the little handle that sticks up, and then it will do a full turn and it will produce 1 times the recipe. Now, you can't just do it for all of them, and then you have to do that a long time, which is why we made 2 of them, because it takes a long time to do. So I'm just going to sit here milling up the rest of these minerals. So we now have all of those powders ground up, and we can do a few more things whilst we're waiting for our mortar to finish processing. We're going to open that loot bag. We get some garlic seeds and some tracks. Be interested to see what we can do with some tracks. Now, between episodes, I also killed a skeleton and got some bronze boots, so we have a little bit of protection now. But in order to help us make the black bronze, we can look in NEI and see that we need silver, copper, and gold. And it gives us these ratios that it needs to be within. So no less than 10%, but no more than 25% gold, between 50 and 70% copper, between 10 and 25% silver. Now, it can be a bit hard to add those up using the units. Obviously, it's completely possible. It takes a bit of effort, but what we can do is taking 5 pieces of lumber and a flawed mineral, we can make an alloy calculator from Udemy. Now, if we place that down here and grab some ores out of our chest, we can take some copper, we have some gold, and we have some silver. And if we just chuck those in there, it won't work essentially because we have way too. So if we take silver, gold, and then we can put in some copper, and that gets us black bronze. Now this will allow us to add up and make sure we get to an exact number of units of black bronze, so it comes out as a set number of ingots, a whole number of ingots, rather than leaving little bits left over. And then we could just put this inside of a ceramic vessel, and then burn it just the same as the copper did for our tools previously. Now, you can do that, and that is one completely valid way of doing it, but we are going to end up using the crucible, because the crucible allows us to alloy things very easily and ends up using a lot less fuel than burning 8 pieces of wood and thatch in the pit kiln. So that is why we are focusing on making a crucible first, after we have made mortar, we are going to make a mixing bowl, and that opens up the quest for a crucible. So I'm going to wait until we have got our mortar, or it's already ready, so we can take that mortar out of there. And we put a whole stack of sand in there, which is a stack of 32, and we ended up getting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stacks of mortar, and that only used 320 millibucket, 3,200 millibuckets of lime mortar. So you can still get a lot more mortar out of that. We just need to put more sand in there. Now, what we can do with the mortar is, first of all, we can complete the quest for it, and we can claim some oak logs, and that will unlock the mixing bowl, which will then allow us to go on to make a crucible. But what the mortar can do is it allows us to make bricks, and the way we get these type of bricks is we use chisel with a stone type. Now, our chisel is currently broken from when we made our house, so we need to go and make another one of those, but we will play around with that in a future episode. But right now, we are going to make a ceramic bowl. To make a ceramic bowl, we need some clay, so we need a knife and a rolling pin. I believe we can make a rolling pin out of some wood. We just need some planks, and we will need a knife. So plank, sticks, maybe can't. Through looking at the recipes, we are indeed able to make a wooden rolling pin, and in order to do that, we have taken 2 oak logs that you can just place in there like that. I believe you can do it with any log and it turns into an oak log. Now we can take that and make wood planks. Now these are different planks than you make from the lumber. They are from Minecraft rather than from TerraFirmaCraft, and we can make oak sticks from them. That should allow us to make a rolling pin with the correct tools. There we go. We make a rolling pin, and it only works with the Minecraft oak logs, oak planks, doesn't work with the TerraFirmaCraft ones. So there we go, we now have our rolling pin. We can take our rolling pin and knife and 5 pieces of clay, and we can make a clay bowl. Now, to turn that clay bowl into a ceramic bowl mixing, we need to reach a brilliant white temperature in the forge. Now, in order to do that, we are going to need the use of Bellows. Now, this is a quest that will appear here after we have finished the leatherworking quest. Now, in order to make leather, we need to get raw hides. We've got 8 medium raw hides from killing wild animals on our exploration missions. Now, the first step for processing hides into leather is to put the hides into a barrel of lime water and sealing them, and that will get us medium soaked hides. Now, after we get that, I'll show you the next step, but after that we will need we need fresh water. We will need some tannin, which you get from sealing one of a number of logs from in a barrel of water. If you don't have a log that works for you, you can change any log into an oak log from Minecraft, put that in there again, and you take 2 oak logs from Minecraft, and it gets you 2 oak logs from TerraFirmaCraft, which you can then use oak logs to make tannin. Now that our hides have finished soaking, we can unseal them and take them out. And what we will need to do is we will need to put them down on a surface, and then get a knife, hold down right click, and you need to right click on each bit, you can almost drag it across if you're quick enough, and you get a scraped hide. So I'm just going to scrape all of these hides quickly. Oh, almost got all of there. So that's all of the hides scraped. And now we are going to unseal our barrel of tannin, and we can put those in there and seal it. Oh, we must have missed out a step. We need to soak it again in regular water, and that will get medium prepared hides, and then we will be able to soak it in the tannin. So by the looks of it, our hides have finished soaking, so they are now prepared hides, and we can put them in the tannin and seal that, and each one will give us 2 leather. So we will wait for that to be done, and we will be right back. Each time we are doing one of these things, it takes 8 hours in game, so you know. But I'm skipping all that out so you can see the process in a nice compact manner. So our leather has now finished processing in the tannin. Took another 3,200 buckets of that, and we got 16 leather. Now we can go to the Bronze Age and collect our reward for that, which we get 10 bronze ingots, which is very nice to get. Now, in order to make a bellows using the leather, we will need, let's have a look at what we will need to get. So if we look up bellows, it is bellows right here. We will need 2 pieces of leather and treated wood. Now, I thought this might be a problem. Now, in order to get treated wood, we need to put wood in a bath, which is the bath that we're trying to make using. So that's why we get into a bit of a loophole in the quest book. Now, to get around that loophole, first of all, we'll need creosote oil anyway from the coke oven, which is a lot of stuff that we aren't going to get into right now. But we are going to just make some black bronze the good old-fashioned way using a pit kiln, for the moment at least. But before we do that, we are actually going to take these bronze ingots, or at least the 8 of them that we need to make an anvil, and we are going to make a bronze anvil. So we will fire up the forge. There we go, fired up, and we will heat these ingots up. Now, stick the ceramic molds in there to catch it if we need to, and we will make this anvil. So our ingots are now hot enough. We can weld 2 of them together. Ah, I forgot that we don't even need to heat up these other ingots, because we just need enough to make a single double ingot in order to make an anvil. So we didn't actually need to heat all of those ingots up. But what we will do is we can grab this copper ingot, which is halfway worked already, and we can just stick it in there. We won't waste any more charcoal. And we can cool down the ingots that we need to. At least means that we might accidentally break these molds when we didn't need to, but that's fine. We got them all back anyway, and we have got ourselves... Oh, we need to cool that down as well. I don't believe the crafting recipe will work if they're not all solid. And we've got a bronze anvil. Now we can stick that on our back, grab our stuff out of the copper anvil, and we can just place that down over there for the moment. Take our bronze anvil. Oh, we need to step out the way for a second because we're going to put it right here. And we can stick our flux and our hammer back in there. So whilst that heats up, we can also set off our forges. This should have enough material to make, I believe it's at least 3 ingots of black bronze. So we will set those going with 8 logs in each, just as normal. You've seen me do this before. And light them up. There we go. And we can finish working this copper ingot into a hammer. I will see when the black bronze has finished melting. So the black bronze has now finished melting, and we can also made a bunch of more ingot molds. Now, oh, this is our copper that we had from last time. So we made 4 ingots of black bronze, and we will pour all of these out very quickly. So that is all of the metals out of our 2 vessels. And what we can do is we can, once these have cooled down a little bit, we can turn them into some useful tools whilst they're still hot. So we can now take one of these ingots out. We've got a few of them turning in, and we will make a pickaxe. So we will line that up. There we go, lined up. And then from the lined up point, we are going to punch it 3 times, draw it, bend it, and punch it. And that gets us our pickaxe. Now for our next one, we are going to make an axe. So we line it up again. And then we are going to do a heavy hit, a upset, a medium hit, and a punch. And that gets us our axe head. We can then pop these out. They're still just about hot enough to work. We're going to skip out that one and just go straight to this one, and we are going to make a hoe. And from the neutral point, we are going to do a bend, a heavy hit, and a punch. And that gets us our hoe, because that one we would have been able to get a thing out of, but I didn't want it to get too cold halfway through making a tool. That's fine. We will cool this one down so we can then place it next to our other metals. And then we have got a nice big stack of copper. We can put some more bronze down. Got 3 ingots of bronze and 1 ingot of black bronze there, and we can make some tools out of these things here. The black bronze tools look very pretty, very nice colour, and we will be able to use these to go and get some more minerals, because we do not have very much gold or silver, so we will need more of that to make some more black bronze, and any other bronze for that matter. So we can pick up our bronze anvil and put it in our inventory, and that will allow us to collect the reward for that, and that is 3 squash seeds, and that opens up this tech tree, which wants us to make some bronze sheets, and that leads on to making files, glass, wrenches, and all sorts of other things. We don't need to make the other anvils. We could get more squash seeds, I suppose, but they are not necessary to progress in the quest book. Now, in order to make the crucible and fire up this mixing bowl and get the bellows and everything, we are going to have to do that in the next episode, as we have run out of time today. So I would like to say thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts and feelings. Subscribe if you're enjoying the content. I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.